What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another review
with Way Brothers.
Today we are talking about a little card game called Doomlings.
A little card game with a big heart.
This game is not out yet. It's going to be kickstarted starting March 2nd. And we will leave the link to that Kickstarter in the description of this video. So if you like this review and you think it's a cool game, the link will be there and you could go check it out and back it.
Support. So let's get right into it. Brothaniel, what are the pros for this game?
Okay, they're actually more than I thought they would be. So this game, when I first saw it, I was tentative to like it because it looks like my least favorite kind of game, which is a cute looking game that has absolutely no substance. And I was really worried. Yeah, there might be a game I have a review for that is like that. And that's what I was worried because that's kind of the vibe it gives off. But a lot of people like that. I do not. However, that is not the case. This is a delightful little game. The theme is very interesting. It's basically it's a card game about
the end of the world.
About the end of the world, but you have these traits that you're accumulating to see who can last the longest, basically, on this world.
Dominate, perhaps.
Yes, dominate, yeah. And so you're collecting different traits that what the actual traits are has no impact on the game, but it's for the theme. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
you've got like fangs and like just lots of funny cards. They all have little quotes on them that are usually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's a game in good taste and good humor.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And the game ends when you draw like 3 catastrophes and the world ends. So yeah, it's pretty cute, pretty funny, and there's actually a decent amount of substance to this. It's definitely still kind of a like sporadic card game where somebody will play a card that's like, whoa, that's like a random card that does like, wow, okay, didn't see that coming. Like,
it's not by definition a card game, but we certify it as Way Brothers as a suitable party card game.
You said it's not by definition a card game.
Oh, I mean a
party card game.
Sorry, it is a card game.
By any definition, it is a card game.
But we certify it as a party card game.
Not by definition a party game, but it's a game you could bring to a party. Like
I would definitely bring
up to 6 people. It's easy to teach and it's fun to play. It's not difficult, so it is. It's a game you can definitely bring to a party.
To me, this falls in the same realm as like we didn't play test this at all.
Yes, but like that's kind of what I was talking about. Is it's not as random as that game. No game is as random as we didn't play test this at all.
Yeah,
and that's what I like about it. See, and we didn't play test this at all as another game where I kind of like I have to be in the right mood to play that game because you're not playing to win. You're just playing and anything can happen and you have very little control. This game you have a lot more control.
It's the same level of like humor and intensity, you might say.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, there's more strategy. Yes.
There's definitely more strategy, and I want to make sure the strategy thing is something we drive home because it seems like it's like these other games, but there is more substance to it. It's not just a card flipper and you lose because I played this card. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. You will win usually because you earned it.
Because you played the right cards. And there's luck. You're drawing cards. I mean, sometimes you're going to get sucky cards and lose. But there are lots of things you can steal cards and make other people lose cards. And so, but nothing like super overpowered. And so it is pretty well balanced. It's actually very well balanced. All the games I've played of this have come out within usually like a 5 or 6 point gap between everybody. So,
and it's usually a surprise. I found.
Yes,
you think you're doing really well, but then someone's like pulls out all these extra points.
Because there's lots of cards that because every card has its point value, but then a lot of cards have like, well, you get points for this and this and this if you meet these requirements, or you get so many points if you have so many of these, or you get so many points if your opponent has so many of those. Yeah. So when the game ends, it's like it looks like that person won and they might have gotten last place. So I like that as well about it. Also, there's a lot of variety in this game. There's a ton of cards.
Indeed.
162, I think, something like that. I think it's like printed on the...
150-ish, more than that.
Yes. There's a lot of cards and no copies except for cards that are copied because of what the card is. Like, they compound if you play multiple. But no copies other than that. There's a lot of... Like, there's an era card you flip every round. And there's a bunch of different those. And you only use a few of them every game, but there's a bunch of extras. So there's lots of different those. Which is good. That gives replayability to the game. And last but not least, I would definitely, and this is something I probably like best about the game, is the artwork, actually. Yeah. The little Doomlings are okay. They're kind of dorky, kind of goofy.
Little spheres.
but the actual like artwork for like all of the era cards and the catastrophe cards, and just like the palette they used for like the turn or the gene pool cards, and like and we'll put some of those up on the screen for you to see, but they just look really good.
Yeah.
It's a very simplistic, simple style of art, kind of like the video game Journey is what it reminded me a lot. So anyone who's seen that or played that, it's very simple, but it looks incredible in its simplicity. And like the colors they chose and everything just looks really,
very
really beautiful.
Tasteful is the word I would use.
Yes, yeah. They definitely put work into that. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like. And like I said, more than I thought there was going to be going into this. I was nervous because I was like, okay, we're going to review this game. And I don't want to give it a negative review, but if I get another Exploding Kittens, like, I gotta be honest, you know? And there are a couple of things we'll talk about for the cons, but as far as the pros go, I mean, it is a fun game to play, and I've probably played 6-7 times now. It's not something you want to play. You're going to play every single day. It'll get old if you do that.
Sure.
But you come back to this every week. You can play it with kids or with adults. I mean, it works well.
Well, and another another pro with that, it's easy to teach. It's not very complicated at all. There's a couple little things that you need to know, but it's something that's really accessible to bring to even new gamers or just a random party.
Yeah, I mean, it does work almost as it doesn't have party game qualities, but it's a game you could bring to a party and it would fit right in. So, but we got to talk about some things we don't like. All right,
we got to be honest. We got to be honest for you, the viewers. You know why? Because we care about you and we care about your respect. So, respect us, and we're going to give you a couple of cons that we found for the game. Yeah. We're not trying to dig up cons, we're just being honest about the game. So, the first thing is that I think is just a little too convoluted about the game is the first player mixed with the dealer. So the dealer is different from the first player, and who that person is each round rotates by a given condition. It's whenever you turn over an age that happens to be a catastrophe, immediately first player rotates clockwise, and so does the dealer. And that seems simple, but man, that's hard to keep track of for some reason.
For some inexplicable reason.
It's like every time, like, wait, was I the dealer? I'm the dealer. Wait, that means you're the first player now. Wait, so... Because in like a 3-player game, the dealer is the last person to go, unless you flip over the catastrophe, and now essentially for that round, you're the second person to go, because now the dealer
first player was on your left.
Yeah.
But now they're over here. Oh, in a 3-player game.
In a 3-player game, yeah. Right. So it just kind of... I mean, a 4-player, it's different, obviously.
And maybe it's just us, because it's not complicated, but for some reason, you just, like...
Yeah.
And the more you play it, obviously, the easier it gets to remember that. And you can use, like... There's a card in here that you don't really need. The Birth of an Era card. You could use that as, like, either a first-player card or a dealer card to keep track of it.
Or even having both is good. Sure. Or just making your own, just something as a placeholder that is useful.
Because for some inexplicable reason, it's actually
mind-boggling,
hard to keep track of.
I think it's maybe you just get caught up in playing the game and you're enjoying
the
artwork.
But the rounds are so short too, which is weird. Like you should be able to remember, but I don't.
There's something about it. So that's probably the main con we'd bring up. One of the other ones is there's a bit of ambiguity with the cards. Now this is inescapable. I mean, if you're looking at 160 plus cards. You can't have an appendix with every single card outlined. Right. So we understand that. But there are a lot of situations like, wait, this says that I can pick up a card and play its action, but this card's action says it only happens in this circumstance. Does that mean I can play it?
And the rules, and once again, we should mention we don't have the final. We have a prototype.
Yes.
So the rules might be mended, and they might go into a little more depth than they are right now.
But even so, it's still hard to
there's so many cards that you're not gonna be able to address all the issues. Yeah, because there's sometimes where it's like two things seem like they happen simultaneously, but it matters which one happens first, and it's like, well, how do we like turn order? Or is that how we decide?
The one game that we played, it was like at the very end, you have to like discard your cards in player order according to the final, like the World's End condition, but my card like let me steal from yours,
that's the other thing. So there's a lot of cards that say at World's End, which is when the final card gets flipped, do this.
See.
The cards you flip, the third catastrophe has a World's End thing on it that you do, and there might be 3, 4, 5, 7 other cards in the game that say at World's End do this. It's like, what order? Like turn order, I guess, you know?
I think it is turn order. But see, that's the thing, because when you flip over that catastrophe that has World's End, turn order switches again because dealer and first player.
But the game ends immediately.
Yeah.
It's little things. I mean, we're nitpicking. These aren't things that make you when you finish the game, you're like, like that. They don't have that effect.
No,
because it's not this. Where you're not playing like a heavy war game here, where those little things matter. You know, it's like,
well, they matter.
Well, they matter, but it's like, I don't know if I go first or you first. You know what? Yeah, go ahead. It's all right. You know, I'm not gonna throw a fit over it because it's just a card game. It's just you're just having fun, and I mean, you are still trying to win, hopefully, but. Yeah, it's not like you're playing a Scythe or something where it's like, okay, we gotta figure this out. And make sure,
The simple solution is just decide, agree with the group. Should it go this way or this way?
Take a vote.
Easy fix.
But there aren't very many situations like that. Like once again, we're kind of nitpicking, and I think we would both say that the pros outweigh the cons.
It's worth buying this game.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun though. I mean, it's an enjoyable experience, and I mean it's similar to card games. You know, there are card games like it out there, but I think because of the art and because of the art and the theme, and the fact that it's not just like a luck-based card game, there's actually some depth, makes it fun. And it's short. You play a few times in a row, you know? Like, it is a delightful experience.
Yeah, it was a surprise, I would say.
Definitely a surprise.
From first looking at the game, I thought it was just going to be pure randomness, but was surprised at how well it's balanced.
So don't judge a game by its box.
Judge a game by the game.